review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the founder of Humble Zone, the creator of Home Studio Mastery, designed to teach you how to build your home studio. No other than Mr. Junaid Ahmed.
Hey Daniel, so excited to be here.
Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Junaid. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Absolutely. I'm Junaid Ahmed, and I've spent the last years helping creators, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders turn their ordinary spaces into extraordinary studios. Why? Because how you show up on camera says a lot before you even speak. And today I'm sharing simple, budget-friendly hacks to transform your space and the book that helped me shape my journey.
Definitely, Mr. Junaid Ahmed. Thank you so much for sharing your talents and knowledge to the world. Transform your space, affordable home studio hacks. What inspired you to focus on affordable home studio solutions?
As growing up and as somebody who's been on the other side of the camera for the past 30 plus years, that's right. The first time that I was holding a camera in my hand, I had just purchased it from my uncle for $11. Sorry, not 11, $1. For
Mm-hmm.
$1, I got this camera, and I was so fascinated about what it could do, capture memories, capture the things. Now, as time progressed, I discovered even more different types of cameras, from camcorders to handhelds to now cameras in our pockets, cameras and video cameras in our pockets that we can literally take to capture memories. And kids growing up in the last 18 years, you can trace back to photos and videos of them on these cameras that we've had thanks to the iPhone. So, yes, why affordable cameras and how do you even get started and why do you need it? Like I said
Yes.
earlier, how you show up on camera says a lot before you even speak. There's a phrase that a photo says 1,000 words.
Yes.
Just one mental image, and boom, you know exactly what you're looking at. So that's why it's so important.
Truly, truly important. So, what's the biggest misconception people have about setting up a home studio on a budget?
See, the biggest misconception that they have is that they think that they have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, the funny thing is, we're already walking around with $1,000 camera in our pockets, the smartphone. And these cameras have changed the world. So you don't really need to spend a ton of money to start creating content in your home studio. Start with your smartphone, add a little microphone, and there you have it. You've got a pro level camera that you can use to start creating content.
Definitely. Mr. Junaid, when my first season on Book 101 Review, I used iPhone 10 and $10 microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's elevate people through the years. So how
Yes.
do you define a home studio and what are the most common types that you are creating?
So, home studio is a place in your home that's designed to capture your message. It's designed to capture what you believe in, your stories. And it's also designed so that you can show up in this room, record a podcast episode on the podcast, and moments later, you're out the door running to get groceries. So simple as that. That's what a home studio does. Just like we have our kitchen. Why do we
Yeah.
need a kitchen? It's a kitchen so you can go and cook food. Then you go to the dining room or the breakfast room table where you have these places set up. And in this world that we're in now, as human beings, as entrepreneurs, living in this social media world, we are all creating content. We're all creating stories. And for that, we need these studio spaces, we need these phones, we need to share that story. And that's the purpose of a home studio.
Let's talk about the space and setup essentials. What's the most underrated item or hack for transforming a small space into a functional studio?
Oh my God, such a beautiful question, Daniel. The number one thing you want to think about, the number one thing that you want to add to your room, your space, is a good microphone.
True.
Right. Once you have good microphone and and then people can hear you, then you want to invest in a good lighting. Now, the beautiful thing is natural light is already available, right? You can use a window light to light yourself and share your story and journey. But if you want that consistent look, uh, no matter the time of the day, that's when these artificial lighting come in and create the experience for you that you can then take back to the bank.
Mr. Junaid, how can someone optimize a multi-purpose room for studio use without major renovations?
That's a excellent question. And for that, what I've done is in my book, The 7 Stages of Home Studio Evolution, I've listed out the different stages that we might be in. Now, there are major renovations in the room that you're seeing on my website. And what I've done is not a whole lot, actually. I've added these uh, light boards or wood panels on the wall, not a whole lot of changes. And then I've added these foam panels that absorb the sound, they absorb the audio from bouncing back and coming back into the microphone. Nothing else at all. The only other difference that you don't see in the shot is mounting the lights to the ceiling. So not really a lot of renovations, just treating the room so that your sound is sound and audible and clearly listenable to the person on the other end, and the lighting so that you can show up uh, with authority.
Yes. Authority. I like that, Mr. Junaid. What are your top tips for soundproofing a home studio without breaking the bank?
Well, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your walls covered with paintings, other elements. Maybe you have a calendar, maybe you have some photos and pictures. What's that's doing is you're eliminating flat surfaces. And when you eliminate those flat surfaces, the sound doesn't bounce back into the microphone. It actually disperses and gets absorbed elsewhere. So make sure that you're eliminating those flat surfaces in your home. If you don't want to do paintings or anything, you can always put a drape or a wall or curtains, and then make sure that your floors have carpets or rugs or of something decorative. So again, not only are you being efficient with your budget, but you're also decorating the space so that you sound good and you look good. So those are the first few things to make sure that you sound good, and it's all on the budget as well.
Budget friendly gear and hacks. What are one piece of cheap or DIY equipment that made a huge difference in your setup?
The DIY thing that I added to my space. Excellent question. There's a lot of things that I've pulled together over the years, and my favorite DIY was to create a cage on top of the ceiling. So the cage that's mounted, I have multiple mount points or hanging points that I can hang a light on, hang a camera on. So that was kind of like a DIY. And if I were to show my behind the scenes of my setup, I've got different things in here, I've got different things mounted on here, all so that I can easily come in here and have these conversations with my guests and my hosts.
Very well done, Mr. Junaid. Hoping I can do that too. Truly, truly inspiring. Where should beginners, when building their first home studio, where do you gonna save or spend more
All right.
money?
So you want to save, you want to get started, you're a beginner, start with your smartphone, start recording, use your smartphone as a webcam for your calls, for your videos and whatnot, right? So that's the first thing that you can do. We all have these smartphones. The first investment that I recommend everybody do is to get a nice dynamic microphone. The price range starts from $99 to $400. All depends on how much you want to spend. But that puts you in the enthusiast stage. So you start with a novice stage using your smartphone camera, maybe a wireless, those wireless microphones that you can buy on Temu or TikTok for $20. That's going to help level up the audio quality. Then you spend a little more. Now you're an enthusiast, a hobbyist with the microphone. And when you
Yes.
spend some more time and money with the proper lighting, the proper treatment in your space, then you're leveling up to becoming an enthusiast. The idea, right, Daniels, is to do the work. The
Yes.
more time you do the work, the more time you create videos, the more time you spend with this gear, the better you're gonna get it. And then you'll start to see and it'll start to click in your mind, okay, I know how to do all this now. What's the next stage up? So you'll automatically find yourself leveling up and getting more interested in this stuff.
Mr. Junaid, how can people repurpose everyday household items for studio use?
To repurpose some household items, you can use curtains as sound blockers in your room using hangers from your closet to hang them either from the doors or either from the ceiling somehow using hooks. Again, just so you're blocking the sound from bouncing around and coming back to the microphone. Uh,
As a founder and creator, what are your short term and long term goals?
the long term goal is to build a media school for Muslims, so that I could teach the students coming out of high school, entrepreneurs that are running businesses, the importance of showing up on camera with confidence, building their confidence, building their authority, and helping them show up on camera so that they can take these skills back to their business, back to where they're coming from. And then the short term goal is to get my book out, Seven Stages of Home Studio Evolution, to as many people as possible so that they can learn, hey, what am I already doing? How can I level up to the next stage? It's all about uh, doing one doing 1% better every single day so that you realize, oh my God, I'm doing so much more than I had imagined. And look at the growth and look how far I've come.
Yes. Good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success, Mr. Junaid.
Thank you.
And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be, of course, like you?
Do the work. Do the boring work of recording those videos. Do the boring work of
True.
start, right? Just start and start really simple. Start right now because the best time to start was probably 10 years ago when YouTube was picking up. But the best part is the best time is right now as well.
Right now, people, stop procrastinating. Do it. Do it now. Who knows, you will be the next Mr. Junaid Ahmed. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence you, Johnny?
You know, the number one book that influenced my journey was actually a sequel to the original book by Gary Vaynerchuk. So he wrote a book in 2009 called Crush It, and then he wrote a sequel to the book, Crushing It, in 2018. After I read that book, I was like, okay, there's no more waiting, there's no more dilly dallying. I'm doing this right now. And I started and launched my podcast in 2018. And to date, I have interviewed over 800 guests on my show, all because
Wow.
I took his advice that he parted in that book, as well as the journey of other people who took his advice and started doing the work. Because when you do the work, my friend, that is when you see the transformation. That is when you see the change. That is when you realize that there's so much more inside of you than you give credit to.
Definitely. And thank you for that recommended book. And let's talk about the tech and software. What the free or low cost software do you recommend for recording or editing or streaming?
All right. So to record, edit, and stream, there are a few applications out there, but we will start with recording video content. Your smartphone already has a camera app built in. Use
Yes.
that app to record your video. To edit those videos, you can simply use the iMovie app, which is again free for iPhone users. There's other video apps if you're an Android user to edit. There's a ton of applications out there, but what I would recommend is pick one and go as deep as you can to understand how that software works. Because once you understand the software, once you learn what's needed, you're going to go so much far.
Yes. Definitely. And Mr. Junaid, how can someone get professional quality sound or video without expensive gear?
Start with a good microphone. But the beautiful part is the latest phone, and most people try to get the latest phone. If they don't, which is totally fine. You can use an external microphone for 10 to $20. But the latest iPhone 16 Pro actually has 4 microphones built in, and you can apply custom audio settings, especially if you're using the back camera and recording video using that. So again, that's going to get you some really clean sound automatically by using those devices. And if you have a lot of echo in your audio and you want to level up that audio quality, there are AI based software that can help eliminate that extra noise and echo and clean up your audio.
Creative workflow and productivity. How do you design a home studio to boost creativity and productivity?
So, number one thing that we do and work with is to create a space that's designed for you. It's a space that you can come in, do the work, and go away. So creating it efficiently. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they'll sit right up against the wall. And what that does is you have limited space and you're not using your space efficiently. So what I like to do is I like to put my desk against one wall and now have the rest of the room open to do additional work and entertain my children if I ever want to.
Mhm.
So make sure that you're thinking of the room, the feng shui of the room. Make sure you're not putting your back against the door because you want to make sure that you keep an eye on it. And there's so many things and there's so many levels. Again, it all comes starts with start with one, experiment, and keep growing.
Yes, trial and error, people. Keep growing and growing and growing, just like Mr. Junaid Ahmed. And what's your number one tip for staying focused and minimizing distractions in a home studio?
All right, the number one thing to keep you focused is to have a community that inspires you, that encourages you, and that supports you. Because we can distract ourselves in so many different ways, but when you have a community member or somebody encouraging you and uh, being helping you being accountable, you immediately forget all of the different distractions because now you're focused. You want to make sure that you don't let your friend down in the community. So I think that's the number one thing that I recommend. And being part of communities is what's helped me get this far. So absolutely.
Yes, definitely. No man is an island, people. So if you need help, ask Mr. Junaid for elevate your home studio for sure. When it comes to upgrade from a budget setup, and what should be the first investment?
So when you want to upgrade from a budget setup to a more professional setup, you would the first thing that I recommend is to get a teleprompter.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Because what that teleprompter will do, it'll eliminate you your darting eyes because you can be focused on looking at that camera and use it as a confidence monitor. Plus, it'll help you to practice your recording video even more because now that you see yourself in the camera, you can talk with more authority, talk with more passion, and you just, be more you much more faster.
Be more you authentically, for sure. Mr. Janet, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in its fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Jeanette, if you could only share one game changing hack for home studios, what would it be?
The number one game changing hack that changed my life was to treat this with passion. Because when you treat it with passion, you're going to bring your heart. And when you bring your heart, you're going to connect with people much more easily than if you treated it as a business.
Mr. Junaid Ahmed, founder and creator, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or anything that you're doing right now?
Absolutely. So I've got a 5-day challenge that you can come check it out at homestudiomastery.com/5-day challenge or 5-day, as well as the 30-day video challenge to help you get over your fear of being on camera.
Yes, for sure. Fear of being on camera. Please, people, let's support Mr. Junaid Ahmed because if you support him, for sure, more and more and more empowering advocacy to come, more and more empowering business to come. So, Mr. Junaid, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.